Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SysCon TV. We are here at 9th Cloud Expo. Cloud Expo Silicon Valley. We're in Santa Clara, California, as is Dave Roberts, VP of everything that's important at ServiceMesh. Looks after their strategy, looks after everything, and it's going well. So you're quite good at what you do, David.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. I am. I like to think so.
But ServiceMesh is also doing well. So what's the main thing at Cloud Expo that people should be thinking about for you guys?
I think the main thing at Cloud Expo that people should be thinking about is how to make best use of the cloud. We talk a lot, I think, at Cloud Expo about how to build clouds, which is very natural. We need to go do that. But I think the real question for enterprises is how do you leverage that into some strategic advantage in your business? And making sure that cloud doesn't become just yet another IT fad that we spend a lot of money on, but at the end of the day really doesn't pay off in terms of business metrics.
Now, does that mean that personally you have to you're acting as an evangelist for enterprise cloud computing on ServiceMesh's behalf?
Well, absolutely. I mean, certainly that's what we're working with our customers about. We do deal with some of the largest, enterprises on the planet, multinationals many times. And while everybody's interested in cloud, they're also looking at, what's the real deal here? Is this just another technology play, or is there something that I can make use of to get strategic competitive advantage? And
what do you say? I mean, obviously it's horses for courses, depends who's asking, but can you see, Dave, from your perspective, because that's a brilliant lens through which to view the cloud, what tend to be the things that are, I mean, is it the fabled RIO? Is it the flexibility? Well, really, what's the pecking order?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is in driving initiative and enablement of business units to go do what they do best. I mean, I think we sometimes get very cloistered as IT people, thinking that it's all about the IT, and it's really not. It's all about the business units using that IT to build something, better for our firm. And the whole thing is, how do you unleash the creativity of those business units to consume that IT in a way that you want to do? In the old days, the BU would come to the IT department and say, I need you to build X or Y or Z, and it took months and months to go get that done, and it was very slow and very, it was a slogging process, and people just didn't want to go through it. At the end of the day, they just decided, it's not really worth it. If I have a marginal idea, I'm not going to really execute on that. And really the opportunity for cloud is to, as much as possible, put IT into the hands of business people that can turn on a dime, have a flaky idea one day, decide to go cobble something together, and if it looks good, take that then into production and really drive some business value. But the challenge is that right now that's a scary proposition for enterprises. What if I give the controls over to those business unit people? What are they going to do with that? And so the ability to wrap that consumption interface, the way that those business people consume those resources, with policy and governance, so that as a firm I can sit back and I can say, okay, I know that I'm covered. I know that nobody is going to be allowed to do anything stupid. But at the same time, I've provided maximum flexibility and the opportunity for people to really drive innovation. Innovation is one of those things that you can't define how to go do it. The moment that you start to specify the steps necessary to innovate, you kill the moment and it all goes away. But what you need to do is empower folks to be able to get a hold of resources very quickly with a minimal of muss and fuss when they need it, and then really to utilize those to do something new. So the crazy idea, in the back room that somebody has one day could be the next blockbuster customer feature or customer product the next day. So how do we leverage IT to go make that as seamless as possible?
So in terms of then growing the ServiceMesh opportunity, have you got to plant the seed with CEOs as well as the CIO saying, you know what, guys, I know you think they're running after this cloud thing like it's a fad, but we will be there hand-holding, and you need to know as the business owner or as the shareholders, as the major stakeholders, that we've been around a little while and we're not just going to let your BUs go wild. Is that part of your appeal? Will it be to the CEO?
Yeah. In fact, one of our messages to the CIO is that rather than being the guy who's just responsible for for the next Windows upgrade or building out the web server and maintaining it, you need to be a strategic part of the business, and you need to be approaching your other C-level peers as a real peer in the entire business strategy. And if you're not, if you're simply waiting for somebody to hand you a shopping list of things that we need to go do and migrations, and you're really just waiting for the next round of budget cuts to come and compression on your resources and your staff, that you're really not taking advantage of or living up to your what should be your job description. Right. And so cloud offers, I think, an ability to go do that, to now walk into the CEO's office and the board, actually having board level discussions, to say, look, I think we can take our business to a new level if we start to invest in this and really do some interesting things.
I think that's a very good rallying cry for people who are following this out there on the World Wide Web, what Dave Roberts is saying. Now, I immediately want to think I should want to connect with ServiceMesh, so should people watching. So they go to ServiceMesh.com, but where should they go beyond that when they're wrestling with just the things you've talked about?
Well, certainly at the show. Come to booth 515 at the show here. ServiceMesh.com is a great starting point for that. So, there's contact information there. We'd certainly love to have a conversation with you, because we find that while websites are great, there's limited info that we can put on this, and that everybody's situation is a little bit different. So,
reach out to you from beyond that. Make sure you connect with Dave Roberts and his team. We will go on following the ServiceMesh story, because we're going to keep seeing you. I know that. Absolutely. So make sure that you go to ServiceMesh.com right now and see what it is Dave was talking about. See some use cases, see some customer examples, I'm certain. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dave. I know you've got a million things to do. Thank you out there for joining us here in Santa Clara, out on the World Wide Web.